Hello and welcome to anyone who's watching this video. I've been looking to see if there's any affordable sets of chisels that are actually worth buying, that are actually feasible. They're not particularly cheap. I paid about £28 for 4, but looking at them, that's about as cheap as I wanted to go, and just by looking at them, these look like they might have possibilities. So the name looks like Libraton or something. Yeah, Libraton. And they just come in a simple cardboard packaging. The reason I picked these was they seem quite generous in proportions. And they seem to have a good handle on them. I don't like handles with a metal cap on the end, because when you're using them with a hammer, they're constantly tapping, and I find that rather annoying personally. So even if it's a plastic handle, I'd rather it didn't have a striking cap on it, and most of the cheaper ones do have a metal striking cap on. And just in case anybody's thinking, these are not the mythical Aldi's chisel that's often talked about. These aren't those, but they look quite well made. The handles aren't bad at all. They've got a really good grip on them, and they're very generous size. And the machining on them is quite good as well. I do think that this one isn't too bad, this wider one, but the when you go down in the sizes to this one, they're really, I would say, more of a firmer chisel than a bevel edge chisel, but strong. And if you were knocking housings out or cleaning mortises out or putting locks in and things like that, they're perfectly suitable. They wouldn't be suitable for cutting dovetail joints and those sort of things. So I'm going to sharpen these up and use them a bit and see whether they keep their edge, whether the metal is up to scratch or not, and whether they're actually worth the money. They are about, I suppose, about £7 each, but they do look like quite a well-made item. The chrome vanadium. The tool roll they come in is, well, I don't know what to say about that really. It's supposed to be leather, but it isn't. It's some sort of artificial material. And I was weighing, I couldn't quite weigh up how you would, how it functions as such, because it doesn't fold up, it doesn't fasten. So I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of it is. If you pick it up by the end there, they will actually tip out. So that's not functional. And I suppose you could hang it on a wall possibly. You could hang it on a flat surface possibly. But the only thing I've found is you could actually roll it like that maybe. Maybe you could then tie those two eyes together and it might work like that. But generally speaking, I don't think the actual tool roll is worth bothering with. But I shall get them sharpened up and see whether they're viable or not. As I said, they are very generously proportioned. They've got a nice wooden handle. It's got one of the best grips that I've that I felt, to be honest, because I have a bit of an issue with my grip because my hands are getting old and tired, but they're a really nice grip, they are, and they are a sturdy chisel. So after I've used them a while, I'll come back and I'll finish this video off. Hello and welcome back. I've had a chance to use these Libraton chisels and try them out to see what sort of quality the steel is in them. I didn't realise when I bought them, but they are classed as professional grade by the company that sells them, and they do have a Rockwell rating of 60 plus or minus 2, which is quite good. And without having that number, I was going to suggest they were about a 60 from regrinding them and using them, and I think that's a fair rating. I have reground them. You could have used them out of the box. If you wanted to knock out something rough with a hammer, you could probably use them out of the box, but I didn't realise they had a Rockwell rating, so I decided to regrind them. I took about 2mm off the length and reground them, because sometimes on a chisel the first couple of millimetres isn't very good steel. So I've reground them all and sharpened them, and just by feeling the metal against the stone and looking at the colour of the sparks that come off, I concluded that they were good metal before I realised they'd got a rating on them. The handles are beech, and they're very nice, very comfortable. I've tested them on, we're using this timber at work at the moment, which is, it's classed as a sapele from Africa. It's not like the sapele we used to get from Brazil, which was lovely dark purple colour, nice smooth grain, lovely stuff to work with. This stuff is really gnarly and hard. We call it red concrete at work. None of us like using it. So I thought this would be a good test. You can see by the growth rings, it's slow grown, it's tightly grained, and it's a tough old thing. This piece of wood weighs 1 kilo. So I thought that would be a reasonable test for them. So I've just taken a chisel and a mallet and I've just knocked a wedge into there, just cut a chunk out. And as I said, this is hard timber, so it's a good test. And then after that, without resharpening, I looked to see if they'd been nicked or damaged. And after that, without resharpening them, I paired the ends to see if they were still sharp enough to pair with, and they were. This piece I've tested another set on the back, but I'm going to do a review of those in a little while. So generally, they're good. I don't have any complaints about them. You can tell that they've been cutting, but they're not nicked or damaged, they're still sharp. And I think they're all right. The back of them isn't particularly well ground, and you can see on this one here, there's like a bit of a dodgy patch there. Well, that was all the way across there. That whole end of the blade, this end here, was a little bit, there was like a high ridge here somewhere. So I did have to spend a bit of time flattening the back, and I've only just got to the edge there. It could do with some more work on it, but not beyond reason, common sense. They do need the edges taken off them. They are a bit sharp. These will nick you if you're not watching. But generally, I think they're a good chisel. For £28 you get 4, so about £7 each. Just by feel, I have standard Narex chisels, and they're supposed to be about 59 Rockwell, and I think that's fair enough. I think these are slightly harder, and I think for the money they're a good set. So I'll just do a size comparison. They are a good full size set of chisels. I'll just do a size comparison. This is an old Marples blue chip that hasn't been used. It's just been in the, it was left in the, it's been left in my garage, to be honest, and I haven't used it. I've had it a very long time, but just to give you some idea of the size, they have got a full length blade in them. And as you can see, the handle is over generous in length, but I like that. It's a nice feature. This mark here, where the lettering's rubbed out, is where I've had it on the grinder, carefully, without overheating it. And this one is a Robert Sorby chisel, which is a mortise chisel, which again hasn't had much use. It's just been sitting in the garage. But as you can see, they've got a good length to them, they've got a good size to them. So I think they're a good set, and I think they're worth the £28, and I'm happy with them. So if you know, that's all I can say really. I have found that the tool roll is really meant to be hung on the wall. That's why it's the shape it is, and because earlier in the video, at the start of the video, you said I couldn't understand how it worked, but it's actually meant to hang on the wall by these eyes. But you can roll it if you want to. There's nothing on the box to say, actually there is on this one. Yes, so they are made in China. So these are a Chinese set, but I think they're very good. I don't have any complaints. So for an affordable set of chisels, not rock bottom cheap, but an affordable set of chisels, I think they're very usable. So I think that about covers everything. Thanks for watching and take care.